Hello, I'm coming to you uh, about my complaints that I have for the UC service, as we call the unemployment. This is my way of protesting, and I hope what I say to you will stimulate you and motivate you for standing up what you believe is right. If you have been calling down there to unemployment on Grandin Avenue, or if you had went down to Cali Hill, 3rd and Cali Hill, and you know how these folks talk to you and how they treat you. And they don't have no race barrier with this. This is what they do. This is their job, to discriminate against you, to retaliate against you, and racially divide you completely. What I have experienced, what I call is horrible, horrifying for what I have experienced. I was working at a job for almost 9 years, and I got laid off, and I received an unemployment back in 2008. In that process of working at that job and receiving unemployment, everything seemed to go, pretty well. I didn't have a job at the time. I picked up a job September the 17th at Sympathy House on Broad and Pine, drained off property. I went there as a doorman. It was a weekend job. I worked there for a whole year. And in the process of me working, I came to work on time. I did my job. I was always dressed the way I was supposed to. Never, take nobody to no change, got along with the residents. I did my job. And at the time, we had a resident there was going through some change, and they wanted them out of there. Well, anyway, they got fired me for confidentiality, which they never had it in the handbook or anything like that to say that they had the right to fire me. These are the papers that I received from the UC Services. Ms. Brandwich told me, I told her what happened. She told me I did my job. There was a resident there who was under the influence of alcohol, and he carried a gun. And in the meeting, they brought his name up and saying that he'd be in the lobby, he was abrupt, the whole 9 yards, and he was cursing when he see the residents. I called him and told him and warned him, don't go in the lobby, don't do this, because I know when somebody's under influence, they pack a gun, anything could have took place there. And the residents at Sympathy House, they applaud me. But my supervisor, Ms. Randa, she didn't care less about it. But anyway, moving along, when I was going for to receive my unemployment and call for unemployment, they tried to stop it in December the 19th. And they supposed to have came to a hearing. It never came. The hearing was postponed to January the 11th of 2010. So when the hearing came, they never showed up. I was eligible for the unemployment. I have documentation that say that I was eligible. Never received the unemployment. Mind you, they allowed me to continue to collect my extensions from my prior job. And in the case, I had got a job in September, my last week of September, at Society Hill Towers, which was another condominium. I got laid off of that job in April the 28th. In the process of getting laid off the 28th, I called them that same week and let them know that I stopped, not working there no more, so they could hold up whatever needed to stop, so I won't have any other problems. Instead, they allowed me to continue to collect my U.S. security extensions, which they should have stopped, which I should have stopped it back in January the 11th, allowed me to collect my unemployment benefits from Sympathy House, but they didn't. When I called and asked about it, one of the ladies told me that they blended it. I want you to be attentive to what I'm saying to you. I called again in March. They told me it was a no fault. I got papers and documentations of what I believe a no fault was. And I went down to the federal building, put a complaint in it with the second floor, the clerk desk on 6th and Market. And I suggest that you do so. The clerk desk at the federal building on 6th and Market on the second floor. I put a complaint in there. I got to my 6th Amendment, waiting for the hearing to come through, but it never manifests. In the meantime, I still protest by sending my letters to Joe Starton, Alan Specter, and different people that may help me. My senator, I sent 13 copies of the 14 sheets to the President of the United States, figuring that all these people that I'm sending these letters to, what I experienced with the UC service and my employer will help me, which I haven't got the response back. But what I'm trying to get across to the people that have these similarities of our experience, do what you need to do. Do You're not fussing, arguing, complaining among your family. Write it up. Get on the web. Do what I'm doing. You understand? Get what you feel that how you've been discriminated from the UC services or your employer. Do something about it. You understand? You have the opportunity. And in the process, and getting back to the job, in the process of me receiving my unemployment right away from Society Hill Towers, I asked them, I said, well, how come I can't get my unemployment from Sympathy House? Oh, it's a no fault, Mr. Bennett. What you mean? It's no fault of your own. Okay, so when are you going to correct it? They're supposed to be processed. They're working on it. Never did so. Matter of fact, they allowed me to collect my extensions from our other job, which they should have dropped back in January of the 11th. They allowed me to continue to collect that right up to my job at Society Hill Towers, and that allowed me to still to collect it up to June. Mind you now, I called them in April the 28th to tell them that I am not working it no more, to stop it. Anything they need to stop. They didn't. They allowed me to continue to collect it, but I had to pay, they say I owed them some money, overpayment. For 3 months, they hold my unemployment up. I had high blood pressure, cholesterol, I was going through a whole lot of health issues. I couldn't pay my bills. But the whole year, I was out of work from April to up to December the 11th when I got another job. But this lets you know what I experienced with two people for the whole time. They discriminate every time I called them and spoke about it. One lady was rude on the phone, told me, you ain't going to get this, you ain't going to get this, that's done with, which I was really hurt about. And as I got the job in December the 11th, working at another condominium, I worked there on a part-time basis. And when I still was complaining about why I never received my unemployment. So I protest against them. And when they were sending, they say they found a new claim for me. Please listen to me attentively. They found that they stopped me from getting my Society Hill Towers extensions to give me a new claim, and they told me for all the jobs I had in 2010, which I never had no job from 2010. They found a new claim for me for $132, where I worked at to receive $132. I'm saying that they must have told Mr. Drainoff to give him that because he won't be able to pay it. I'm thinking with that's what I'm feeling. But anyway, I protested again and put what I wanted to put down on it and told them I'm protesting against it because I want my money from January the 11th, 2010 from Sympathy House, which you never gave me. So they charged me and said I owed them some money. I said to them, so what about the money that you owe me? And they didn't want to hear that. See, this is how rude and how corrupt these people are. And when they told me about the falsifying the claim of $132, that's what it was. Then when I went back and told them at the meeting, I had a meeting 2 weeks ago at Callahill, 3rd and Callahill, because I appealed against it. And I told them how I felt about that. And I told the lady, she going to tell me, we just the money that you owe us. No. We got to go back to 2010 by January the 11th, and then that's going to match up what we're talking about now while I'm at the hearing. Now, what I'm trying to say to you is they want what they want from you, but they ain't going to try to give you nothing, and they'll lie, they'll manipulate it, they'll retaliate against you, they'll intimidate you, they'll come at you in so many different ways. I brought they had my boss to come to the hearing that Friday, not giving him a week notice or 2 week notice. They emailed him Friday. So he in his head thinking about what I did. So when he came to the hearing, I told him, I said, this ain't got nothing to do with you. Whatever I get my paycheck from you and whatever I do to UC service as far as my money, that's between me and them. That don't have nothing to do with you. And he agreed. He didn't have nothing to do with it. But it was a conflict of interest with UC service. These people are supposed to help you get a job, not try to get you to lose your job. And that's what they tried to do. And him and my boss agreed with me. He said it to me. And it was just sad for me to experience this. So now I'm here letting the people know where I'm standing, how I've been treated. I have documentations of what I experienced with the money they owed me, $247, which I never received. They took money from me. They say I owed them $3,000 for 2010. Once I brought some papers to them and told them that I never worked in 2010. What I'm trying to say to you folks is they'll come at, if you don't take care of your paperwork, follow up on your paperwork, follow up on what's going on with you, document what you need to go through. That's what I'm trying to say. Write things down, dates, experiences, whatever the time that you had, hold on to your papers, make copies of it. I send them out to my state representative, NAWCP. I send it everywhere that I can get the help from. But the main thing I believe I'm doing right now is exposing these people. I have no fear about the UCC service because they did me wrong. I ain't did them wrong. And by the way, we don't work for them. They work for us. And I just want to put this out there, and I thank the people for helping me with this. I have a lot of support from people that's out there that's helping me. I went to Mr. Harrison from NBC. He's the investigator. Everybody should know him. He's a good person. If you have a problem, I believe if we get the emailing him and sending your disc, or like I'm planning on doing, and other information on what you experienced with the UC service, that's unemployment, people on Grant and the Boulevard, and I believe in Cali Hill, if you have went down there and you've been discriminated by those people also, Mr. Rosanna, she the one that told me, I gave her these papers, she flicked them back to him. She ain't want to hear nothing about this. All she was concerned about what I owe her. I said, we can't talk about what I owe you now until we go back to January 11th of 2010 and what you owe me, because all that run together. I'm saying this, that you keep your papers, follow up, write them, type them, do the things you need to do. These are my papers of what I'm experiencing. I do all the footwork I need to do. I write down when I had my appeal and what I experienced with these people with no fear. Because if you believe you right about something, stand for it. And I'm putting this out there for the people. Don't you know it's 3.8 million people in the United States going to be unemployed, and thank God for Barack Obama trying to give us our extensions back. But still, once you do your 6 months, you will not get unemployment, no extensions. So how many employers out there want to stop so many people from getting unemployment? And you ain't going to have nothing to do about it because you're not doing nothing about it. And then you'll lose your job and plus not receive your unemployment. And you know the sad irony about this? We pay for it. They take $3 to $6 out your check every 2 weeks for your unemployment. Why would you want somebody to stop you from receiving unemployment when you're earning unemployment? I talked to a young lady, she was in a car accident, had all the documentation, went back to the job, they fired her. She called up to get unemployment, she couldn't get it. But when she went down to the appeal against them and went into the news media and threatened that she was going to the news media and other places that she said she needed to do, they granted her unemployment, talking about they apologized, they made a mistake. So I'm saying this, how many mistakes they going to need to make for you to get what you need to get. I'm going to get mine because I'm standing here to bring this out. And I don't care where that's the land on. These people owe me some money. You can't owe me something and want me to pay you. Yeah, we're not going to do that. So I thank everybody for helping me. I got documentation. I'll be putting it up on, you scan it, you'll see what I experienced. I sent letters to the governor. I went to the federal building, and I put in my complaints. These are my complaints. I'm at my 6th Amendment. That's the 6th Amendment right here. These are the things I did. Do not let no one take advantage of you when this comes to your livelihood. There's single parents out there that may be going through the same thing I'm going through. Think about your loved ones if you don't think about you. But I'm putting this out there so I can get the help I need. Hopefully somebody will see it and to be able to help me with this issue. Especially I hope the people from UCC service, because they so discriminating and they so horrible. They do not know how to talk to nobody when you call them. They'll laugh at you. They'll joke about your wages. They'll do anything that they can to stop you from getting what you're supposed to get. And I'm just doing this in my way of protesting and how I'm feeling and how they treat me. And I want to thank y'all for listening. I hope y'all can respond to this and do what you need. Remember, don't be the problem, but be the solution.